Hey guys, and welcome to another one of the National Music Academy vlogs. Today I'm joined by Matt, who is here to tell us about a new gig opportunity that's for some of the students here at NMA. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
No worries, thanks for having me here, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the Homebrew open mic that you run at Foghorn.
Okay, so I've been running this open mic now for close to a year. The way that came about is that I'm originally from Sydney. I've been in Newcastle, not for a long time, but the first thing I noticed when I came to Newcastle was there is just such a great music scene here. I guess I've known that for a little while in that I have been in bands that have played in Newcastle, so I've seen a lot of the music here over the last 10 years or so. But actually moving here and being part of it was just, it was refreshing, it was awesome. And the next thing I noticed straight away was that a lot of young players, and I heard this from a few people, they didn't have a lot of venues to play at as an entry point. So there's a lot of fantastic venues, obviously, the Zots in Cambridge, all the amazing venues. But as in terms of an entry point for players that just want to get their chops up in terms of playing to live audiences, there wasn't a big offering. So I thought, oh, okay, well, why don't I try and start a night where people can feel confident that they can come and actually play on a good PA system, play to a nice room, and just start to hone some of those skills. So we started this open mic night called Homebrew, and it's recently just changed over the last couple of weeks to now called Homebrew Heroes. So there are a few feature spots each night where the artists can actually play a little bit of a longer set as well. So that's how it all came to be, at Homebrew Heroes at Foghorn.
Homebrew Heroes, awesome. And so with those artists that you see coming through, how do you think that having that sort of an opportunity helps a young artist who's just developing their skills?
Oh, well, from what I've experienced over the last year, specifically, one of the great things is that first of all, you never know what room you're going to get. Sometimes you'll get a room where everyone's listening to you. Other times you'll get a room where everyone's there to have dinner and have their own conversation. As an artist, it is crucial that you learn to perform and deliver no matter what the room's doing. So that's been a really positive thing for artists to practice. Like if they get there and you've got 100 people or 50 people all watching you, great, but you have to learn to put on a show no matter what they're doing out there. So it's been a great space to learn, a great learning space for that reason. The other thing I've noticed, which is really inspiring, is that I assumed there would be a lot of young players coming, but there's actually been a lot of players who are young, not in age, but young in terms of their experience of playing live. So players that are a lot older than me coming and finding this confidence in themselves that they can actually now have a space where they can play some of their own songs or play some cover songs and just get some confidence up, and have in turn gone to play other gigs around town now at 40 and 50 years old, which for me is just amazing, because it's just there's no age limit to music. You can be a musician at any age, and I guess a night like this just provides a really great community for all musicians to come and sort of share a space, support each other, and find that belief in themselves.
Yeah, of course. One of the things as a songwriter, I think having a space where you can, if you've never played original music in front of people before, being able to test that in front of an audience and gauge people's reaction is something that when you're starting out it's so important to have a chance to do that.
I agree.
As part of the songwriting process, I think that you should always test in front of an audience and then go back and fix it after that.
And do you know what I found as well, which has been really interesting? I've had artists that come week after week and they play cover songs. And then I will be chatting to them, and just in passing they'll mention that they also write their own songs. And I'll say, well, why don't you play some of your own songs? Like, we love original music for sure. And always they're like, oh, I don't have the confidence. I don't know. I don't necessarily like my writing skills. Or, just a lot of, I guess, a lot of people just lacking that belief in themselves. And so any time that I find out that someone actually can write their own songs as well, or at least try, I encourage them. I think, just play your own songs. Like, just test it out, because it's so awesome to have this original artistry to accompany those cover artists as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a couple of National Music Academy artists who are going to be some Homebrew Heroes for the next couple of months.
Okay.
How can people find out about this? Where do they go for more information?
So every Tuesday night we're at Foghorn, which is the big brewery in King Street. So it's Homebrew at Foghorn Brewhouse is our Facebook page. It's probably best just to jump on there. You'll see a few videos and a few photographs, and obviously you can message us through that, or there's a phone number there you can text if you like, and just register your interest, and then come along and play. Now, also, because we've recently changed the format of the night, there's actually an opportunity to get up as an open mic slot at the beginning of the night, which means you only need to play 2 or 3 or maybe 4 songs if you want to, or there's the opportunity to be a feature act. But I would suggest to any academy students to come along and actually jump up on stage at the beginning or at the end of the night and take one of those little 15-minute spots, play a few songs, see if you like it, and if you do, maybe we can discuss how to get back as a feature artist in the future.
Yeah, sweet. So it's Foghorn Brewhouse every Tuesday.
Yes.
We've got Brindley Payne, who's going to be playing this coming 12th of June.
That's right.
And then we've got Academy artists every fortnight from there. So keep an eye on our Facebook page as well for the artists who are going to be playing. But
sweet.
Yeah.
Can I also encourage anybody who's watching to just come and watch as well. That's the other thing which I'm really trying to grow. Now we've been running for a year and I've been able to sort of assess who's coming and who's watching and who's playing. I would really encourage people to come out on a Tuesday night just to watch the music. Grab a Coca-Cola or a beer or whatever you want, and just sit in that space and get to support other artists as well as being inspired as well. I think that's really important.
Yeah, awesome. And just finally, would you have any, tips for artists who want to start performing at these sorts of events or want to make the most of performing at these events? I think once you've got a gig like that, something that Gianni, who started NMA, is always saying is the best place to get a gig's at a gig. So if someone is performing at an open mic and they want to make the most of that opportunity, what are your tips?
The best thing to do is to start hanging out at these spaces. It's really good for you anyway because you're getting inspired because you're watching other artists, but also you're meeting people who, like for example, you might meet an artist that says, oh, I've got another gig at this place next week. Why don't you come along and support me at that gig? Or you might meet somebody who is a booking agent for all you know that might be looking to book a run of shows in a couple of months' time. One of the great things about open mic, now I came up as a drummer playing a lot of open mics in Sydney, like a lot of open mics, and I continued to go back and play open mics long after I classified myself as a beginner. And I did that because the community spirit is beautiful. There's a lot of great music, there's a lot of original music, there's a lot of people starting out learning cover songs. Everyone is supporting each other, and exactly what you said, there's always opportunities where you might be able to book yourself either another show at that venue or a show supporting another artist or a show even on a tour in a year's time or something like that. But just being in that vibe and communicating with those musicians is, I guess, one of the reasons I even started Homebrew Heroes in the first place, was to get that community spirit going.
Awesome.